Good evening. You've arrived at a quiet place for rest. There is nothing you need to do right now, nothing you need to solve, understand, or remember. This is a slow science story, told gently, and meant to remain in the background while you rest. You don't need to listen closely. You don't need to follow every sentence. If your attention drifts away, that's perfectly fine. The ocean we'll be speaking about tonight does not depend on being observed. It continues whether or not anyone is watching. Its movement does not announce itself. It does not ask for attention. In the same way, these words are not here to hold your focus. They're here to stay steady, predictable, easy to ignore if sleep begins to arrive. Right now, your body is already doing what it knows how to do. Breathing is happening without effort. The surface beneath you is providing support evenly and quietly. There is no instruction to follow, no outcome to reach. This video is not designed to guide you somewhere new. It's designed to remain calm and unchanged, allowing your nervous system to settle on its own. Everything you'll hear tonight is based on well-established scientific understanding. Not theories meant to impress, not ideas meant to surprise. Just simple descriptions of slow processes that continue whether or not they are noticed. The ocean moves constantly, even when its surface appears still. Most of that movement happens far from view, beneath the surface, across long distances, over long periods of time. Nothing here happens quickly. Nothing here requires a response. If you fall asleep at any point, that's expected. If you wake briefly and hear a sentence or two, that's fine as well. This story does not rely on sequence. It does not build toward a conclusion. It simply continues at a steady pace. You may notice pauses between phrases. Those pauses are intentional. They're part of the rhythm. As you rest, you can allow your thoughts to move freely. They don't need direction. They don't need to stop. Some may pass quickly. Others may linger for a moment before fading. For now, all that matters is that you're here, resting, supported. The quiet science of the ocean will unfold slowly in the background, evenly, without urgency, just as it always does. As you continue resting, there's no need to adjust your position unless your body naturally wants to. If you're already comfortable, you can allow stillness to remain. Breathing is happening on its own. There's no need to change it. No need to slow it down. No need to make it deeper. Each breath arrives and then leaves without effort. The body understands this rhythm well. It doesn't need reminders or correction. It has been doing this continuously, without attention, since before this moment. You may notice the weight of your body being supported by the surface beneath you, by gravity working evenly and without interruption. There's nothing to hold in place, nothing to balance. The muscles in the face may already be softening, around the eyes, along the jaw, the tongue resting naturally in the mouth. There's no need to release anything deliberately, no instruction to relax more. The body does not require complete stillness in order to rest. The shoulders may feel heavy, not pulled downward, just supported, as if they're being carried by the space they're in. Your arms are where they are. They don't need to be arranged carefully. They don't need symmetry. They can simply remain present. Breathing continues, adjusting slightly from moment to moment. That change happens automatically. It doesn't ask for permission. Lower in the body, the abdomen moves gently with each breath. There's no need to hold it in, no need to control the movement. The body responds naturally to pressure and release. Your legs are supported as well. The weight of them is already being carried. Nothing needs to stay upright. The feet don't require attention. They don't need to feel warm or light or heavy. They can remain at the far end of the body, quiet and unremarkable. As these sensations remain steady, the nervous system begins to notice the lack of demand. There's no task waiting, no signal that something needs to be done. When the environment stays predictable, the body gradually shifts toward rest, not because it's being guided, but because there's nothing pressing to react to. This kind of settling happens slowly, often without being noticed. Thoughts may still appear, fragments of the day, images, short phrases. They don't need to be followed. They don't need to be pushed away. They can pass through awareness the same way background sounds do. Present for a moment, then gone. If your attention moves away from these words, that's completely fine. The body doesn't require constant input. It responds just as well to consistency and tone. The voice you're hearing isn't here to lead you anywhere. It's here to remain steady, allowing your internal systems to settle at their own pace. There's nowhere else to be right now, nothing to prepare for. The night does not require readiness. You can continue resting exactly as you are, breathing, supported, unchanged. The body already knows how to do this. As the body remains settled, attention often becomes less focused on specific sensations. It may feel more spread out, less fixed on any single point. There isn't a clear boundary between being awake and resting deeply. Instead, there's a gradual shift, one that happens quietly, without announcement. In many parts of the natural world, movement works this way. It doesn't begin with a signal. It doesn't arrive all at once. Temperature changes slowly across the evening. Light fades without a clear moment when day becomes night. Sounds in the background soften as activity decreases. These changes don't require coordination. They don't respond to attention. They continue whether or not anyone is noticing them. The body is familiar with this kind of transition. It evolved in environments shaped by repetition and slow variation, not constant alertness. Because of that, predictable patterns tend to feel safe. They don't demand quick responses. They don't signal urgency. Movement, in these cases, isn't something to track. It's something that happens in the background. Often, the most consistent forms of motion are the least noticeable. They don't create contrast. They don't stand out. They remain steady. In physical systems, this kind of movement is common. Large systems tend to change slowly. They're guided by stable conditions rather than sudden impulses. Once set in motion, they continue along established paths, not because they're being controlled, but because there's nothing interrupting them. This is true whether those systems are being observed or not. In the background of daily life, countless processes move this way. They don't interrupt. They don't compete for attention. They form a quiet foundation beneath faster events. The mind doesn't need to follow them closely. It only needs to recognize that they're there, ongoing, unchanged. This kind of awareness doesn't sharpen focus, it softens it. There's no need to imagine scenes or hold detailed images. If images appear on their own, they can pass without being held. What matters more is the sense of gradual movement, the feeling of things continuing at a pace that doesn't rush toward an outcome. As this sense settles, time can begin to feel less structured. Minutes don't need to be counted. There's no sequence to keep track of. The voice continues at the same even pace, not to guide attention, but to provide a steady reference, something predictable enough that the mind doesn't need to stay alert. This is often when thinking becomes less verbal, less organized, not because it stops completely, but because it no longer needs to arrange itself around decisions or plans. Rest doesn't arrive suddenly. It settles in layers, first in the body, then in the breath, and gradually in the spaces between thoughts. You don't need to notice when this happens. There's no moment to mark. The process continues on its own, and the quiet science story will continue as well, moving at the same unhurried pace as the systems it describes. The ocean is often thought of as something still, especially when its surface appears calm. But beneath that surface, movement is always present. The ocean is a single, connected body of water that covers most of the planet. It is not divided into separate pieces. It does not stop and start. It moves continuously, even when those movements are too slow or too deep to be seen. Most of the ocean's motion does not take the form of waves or visible currents. Those are surface features. They are only a small part of what is happening. Below the surface, water shifts gradually, layer by layer, across long distances, over long periods of time. These movements are not events. They are not reactions. They are the natural outcome of physical conditions acting on a large volume of water. The ocean does not choose how to move. It does not respond to what happens on land. It does not adjust its behavior based on observation. It follows the same physical rules everywhere. Water moves when conditions allow it to move, when differences exist, when forces act consistently over time. Because the ocean is so large, even very small differences can matter. Differences that would be unnoticeable in smaller systems become meaningful when spread across thousands of kilometers. Most of these differences are subtle, so subtle that they don't create sharp boundaries or visible changes. Instead, they produce slow adjustments. Water does not rush to equalize conditions. It shifts gradually, redistributing heat, salt, and mass in quiet ways. From moment to moment, these changes are nearly impossible to detect. From 1 hour to the next, the ocean often appears unchanged. But measured carefully, movement is always there. This is one reason the ocean can feel stable. Its motion does not announce itself. It does not require attention. The largest changes take place on timescales that do not match human perception. Days, months, years, and often much longer. Because of this, the ocean behaves more like a background system than an active one. It provides a steady foundation rather than a series of noticeable actions. Scientists describe the ocean as a dynamic system, not because it is dramatic, but because it is never fully still. Dynamic does not mean fast. It does not mean unpredictable. In this case, it simply means that motion is ongoing. The ocean's structure allows this motion to be distributed vertically as well as horizontally. Water near the surface can move differently than water far below, each layer responding to its own conditions. These layers do not remain fixed. They interact slowly, exchanging energy and material over time. None of this requires coordination. There is no central control. The patterns that form are the result of balance between forces that remain constant and differences that persist just long enough to create movement. Once these patterns are established, they tend to remain stable, not frozen, but steady. This steadiness is important. It means the ocean does not need constant change to remain active. It can move quietly, without interruption, for long periods of time. For the mind, listening to descriptions like this does not require effort. There is no action to follow, no moment that demands a response. The ocean continues doing what it has always done, shifting slowly, redistributing gently, whether or not anyone is paying attention. And as this understanding settles, there is no need to hold on to details, no need to picture the movement clearly. It is enough to recognize that it is happening, consistently, in the background, just like many of the processes that support rest. To understand why the ocean moves in such steady ways, it helps to look at a few forces that are always present. They are not rare, they are not dramatic. They act continuously, whether they are noticed or not. One of these forces is gravity. Gravity is not something that turns on and off. It does not arrive suddenly. It is always there, acting evenly on every part of the planet. It gives weight to the water in the ocean. It keeps the water held close to Earth. It provides a consistent direction without interruption. Because gravity is constant, the ocean does not need to respond to it. It simply exists within it. Another steady influence is Earth's rotation. The planet turns at a regular pace, not fast enough to feel, not slow enough to stop. This rotation does not change from moment to moment. It does not require adjustment. The ocean moves along with it. As Earth turns, everything on its surface follows that motion. Land, air, water. The ocean does not lag behind. It does not rush ahead. It remains part of the same rotating system. Over time, this steady rotation shapes how large bodies of water tend to move, not through sudden shifts, but through patterns that develop gradually. These patterns are not imposed, they emerge. When forces remain consistent, movement becomes predictable, not fixed, but stable. The ocean responds to gravity and rotation not as separate influences, but as part of a single environment. An environment where nothing changes abruptly. Because these forces act everywhere, their effects are spread out. There is no single point where motion begins, no single place where it ends. Instead, movement is distributed across the entire system. This is why the ocean can move without appearing active. There is no focal point to watch, no edge where motion is obvious. From the surface, much of this influence remains invisible. But beneath that surface, water is constantly adjusting to these steady conditions. Not quickly, not urgently, just enough to remain in balance. Gravity continues to act in the same way it always has. Earth continues to rotate at the same pace. Neither of these forces reacts to what happens at the surface. They do not respond to weather. They do not respond to time of day. They remain unchanged. This consistency matters. It allows motion to persist without drawing attention to itself. It allows patterns to form and remain in place. For long periods of time, The ocean moves within these constraints, shaped by forces that do not hurry. Nothing here requires supervision. Nothing needs to be corrected. The system continues because the conditions around it remain steady. For the body and mind, there is something settling about this kind of description. Forces that do not fluctuate. Motion that does not accelerate. There is no need to anticipate change. No need to stay alert. Gravity remains present. Rotation continues. And the ocean follows, quietly adjusting within a framework that does not shift. As these ideas remain in the background, they don't need to be held in focus. They don't need to be remembered. They describe conditions that are already in place, already acting. The ocean continues moving within them, slowly, evenly, without being seen. Beyond gravity and rotation, there are other quiet influences shaping how the ocean moves. They are not forces in the dramatic sense. They don't push or pull in obvious ways. They work through small differences. One of these differences is temperature. Water that is slightly warmer behaves a little differently than water that is slightly cooler. The difference is subtle, often too subtle to notice without measurement. Warmer water tends to be a little less dense. Cooler water tends to be a little more dense. This does not create sharp divisions. There are no clear boundaries where one kind of water suddenly changes into another. Instead, there are gradual transitions. Across the ocean, temperature varies gently, from the surface to deeper layers, from one region to another. These variations are shaped by sunlight, depth, and time. They do not appear suddenly. They develop slowly. Another quiet difference involves salt. Seawater is not equally salty everywhere. In some places, salt concentration is slightly higher. In others, slightly lower. These differences are small, often measured in fractions. But just like temperature, salt affects density. Water that is saltier tends to be a little heavier. Water that is less salty tends to be a little lighter. When temperature and salt combine, they create gentle contrasts within the ocean. Not enough to cause rapid motion, but enough to allow slow adjustment. Water naturally tends to move toward balance. Not quickly, not directly. It shifts over time, responding to these differences in quiet ways. Because the ocean is so large, even very small contrasts can influence movement. What seems insignificant in one place can matter when spread across great distances. These adjustments do not happen all at once. They unfold gradually. From moment to moment, the ocean appears unchanged. From one day to the next, the movement is almost impossible to detect. But over longer periods, these small differences guide the slow rearrangement of water. This kind of motion does not create noise. It does not disturb the surface. It takes place beneath awareness. There is no need for the ocean to hurry toward balance. The conditions that create these differences often remain in place for long periods of time. As long as they remain, slow movement continues. Nothing needs to be added to sustain it. Nothing needs to be removed. The system adjusts continuously, without signaling change. For someone resting, this kind of description does not require close attention. There is no sequence to follow, no detail that needs to be held. It is enough to know that small differences exist, and that, over time, they allow movement to happen quietly. Temperature shifts slightly, salt varies gently, and the ocean responds in ways that are slow, steady, and easy to overlook. As these ideas remain in the background, they do not need to be understood fully. They do not need to be pictured clearly. They describe conditions that are already present, already shaping motion. The ocean continues to adjust to them, gradually, without urgency. Far below the surface, the ocean continues to move in ways that are almost never seen. These movements do not create waves. They do not disturb the light above. They do not announce themselves. They take place in deeper layers of water, where change happens slowly. In these regions, water moves along paths that can take years to follow, sometimes much longer. The pace is unhurried, measured in distances covered over months, not moments. Because these currents are deep, they are insulated from short-term changes at the surface. Wind does not reach them. Daily temperature shifts do not affect them directly. Instead, their motion is shaped by the quiet differences already present. Temperature, density, the steady influence of gravity. Once water begins moving along these deep paths, it tends to continue. Not because it is being pushed, but because nothing interrupts it. There is no sudden acceleration, no sharp turn. The movement is smooth, continuous. In some places, water slowly sinks. In others, it gradually rises. These changes happen over large areas, not at single points. They are spread out, diffuse. Because of this, the ocean can circulate enormous volumes of water without creating noticeable surface activity. From above, the sea can look unchanged for long periods of time, calm, still. But beneath that calm surface, water is always in motion. These deep currents do not respond to observation. They do not speed up when measured. They do not pause when unnoticed. They continue because the conditions that guide them remain in place. This kind of motion does not depend on direction in the everyday sense. There is no destination, no endpoint to reach. Water moves, adjusts, and continues, guided by balance rather than intention. Over long periods, these currents help redistribute heat and material through the ocean, not as a single action, but as a continuous process. Because the movement is so slow, its effects accumulate quietly. Changes build gradually without sharp transitions. For the mind, this kind of description does not ask for visualization. There is no clear image to hold. It describes motion that exists outside of awareness, something happening steadily, whether or not it is noticed. Listening to this does not require focus. The details are not important. What matters is the sense of continuity, that beneath the surface, movement continues, even when nothing appears to be happening. This is how much of the ocean operates, not through visible activity, but through slow, ongoing adjustment. As these ideas settle into the background, there is no need to keep track of them, no need to remember where one movement leads. The deep currents do not rush, they do not arrive, they simply remain in motion, quietly, consistently, out of sight. By now, there is no need to hold on to specific details. Nothing new needs to be understood. The ocean continues to move in the same slow ways it always has. Not suddenly, not unevenly. The forces shaping that movement remain unchanged. Gravity is still present. Rotation continues at the same pace. Small differences in temperature and density persist. Because these conditions remain steady, the movement remains steady as well. There is no single moment when something begins, no moment when it ends. Water shifts gradually, layer by layer, over time. Most of this movement stays out of sight. It does not reach the surface, It does not create sound. It happens beneath awareness. The ocean does not need to be watched in order to move. It does not respond to attention. Whether it is noticed or not, the same patterns continue. Slow circulation, gentle adjustment, ongoing balance. Nothing interrupts these processes. Nothing accelerates them. From one moment to the next, everything appears the same. From one day to the next, there is little to distinguish one state from another. This repetition is not empty, it is stable. Stable conditions allow motion to continue without effort. The ocean does not need variety in order to remain active. It does not rely on change. It moves because the conditions that support movement are still in place. This is true across the entire system, from the surface to the deepest layers. The same quiet processes repeat, again and again. For the mind, repetition removes the need to stay alert. When nothing new is introduced, attention can soften. There is no advantage in tracking progress, no reason to anticipate a shift. The ocean does not surprise itself. It does not react. It continues. The voice you are hearing does the same. It remains even, unchanged. There is no signal that something different is about to happen. No cue to listen more closely. The same ideas return gently, not to reinforce meaning, but to maintain rhythm. Movement continues without being seen. Forces remain steady. Patterns persist. These words do not need to be followed. They can remain in the background. Like the ocean itself, they move quietly, without drawing attention. Nothing here requires effort. Nothing here needs to be remembered. The repetition is enough. By this point, there is no need to keep track of what has already been said. Nothing here depends on remembering details. Nothing is building toward an outcome. The ocean continues moving in the same quiet ways. The forces shaping that movement have not changed. Gravity remains present. Rotation continues at the same steady pace. Small differences persist, allowing slow adjustment to continue. These processes do not require attention. They are not affected by observation. Whether they are noticed or not, they remain in motion. The repetition you may be hearing is intentional. When information stops changing, the mind no longer needs to stay alert. There is no new concept to understand, no new idea being introduced. From here on, the rhythm remains the same. Words may still be heard, but they no longer need to be processed. They can pass through awareness without forming clear meaning. The body remains supported. Breathing continues on its own. Nothing has shifted suddenly. The environment is unchanged. There is no signal that something important is about to happen. This is often the point where listening becomes optional. Attention may drift. Awareness may soften. If sleep arrives now, nothing is missed. The movement being described does not move toward an ending. It continues. If awareness fades, it fades naturally. If it returns briefly later, it can drift again just as easily. There is no correct way to experience this moment. Some nights, rest arrives quickly. Other nights, it arrives in layers. Both are normal. The body does not need instruction. The mind does not need reassurance. The steady rhythm is enough. The voice remains consistent. The tone does not change. There is nothing to prepare for. From this point forward, the information density remains low. No new ideas will appear. The story does not progress in the way stories usually do. It simply stays. And in that steadiness, there is room for sleep to settle. Quietly, without effort, without needing to be noticed at all. The ocean's movement does not belong to short moments. It unfolds across long stretches of time. Time that is not measured in minutes or hours. Changes occur gradually, so gradually that they are easy to overlook. From one day to the next, the ocean appears much the same. From one season to the next, its motion remains familiar. These long rhythms do not hurry. They are not shaped by immediate conditions. They respond to patterns that remain in place over extended periods. Patterns that repeat. Patterns that persist. Water continues to shift slowly, guided by the same steady influences. Nothing accelerates. Nothing pauses. There is no single direction to follow, no timeline to track. Movement continues because it has room to continue. Over long spans of time, these quiet rhythms shape the ocean's overall behavior, not through sudden change, but through accumulation. Small adjustments add up, not quickly, not noticeably, but consistently. The ocean does not mark progress. It does not signal transition. It moves through cycles that do not announce themselves. For the mind, listening to this kind of motion does not require attention. There is nothing to anticipate. No moment stands out from another. The same conditions remain in place. The same movement continues. Time, in this context, does not feel divided. It stretches evenly. There is no need to keep track of where you are in the sequence. Nothing depends on reaching a particular point. The ocean does not move toward a conclusion. It does not arrive. It simply continues, shaped by forces that remain unchanged. As this sense of duration settles, attention can soften further. The details lose importance. What remains is the feeling of continuity, of motion without urgency. The body responds naturally to this steadiness. There is nothing to react to, nothing to resolve. Breathing continues. Support remains. The long rhythms of the ocean do not interfere with rest. They do not demand awareness. They exist quietly in the background, uninterrupted. And as they continue, there is no need to follow them any further. They will remain in motion on their own. At this point, there is no need for words to carry much meaning. They can remain as sound, even unhurried. Sentences may begin to feel less distinct. Where one ends and another begins does not need to be noticed. The ocean continues moving in the same way, slowly, quietly. That does not change. The forces shaping that movement remain present. They do not shift. They do not pause. Gravity continues. Rotation continues. Small differences remain small, and they continue to allow motion to happen. Nothing new is introduced. Nothing needs explanation. The same ideas return, gently, not to be understood, just to remain. The ocean moves without being seen. It has always done so. It continues now. Water shifts, layers adjust, balance remains. There is no signal attached to this movement, no message. It does not ask for attention. It does not ask to be followed. In the same way, these words do not need to be held. They can pass through awareness. Some may register briefly, others may fade before they are fully formed. Pauses between phrases may feel longer, that is fine. Time may feel less structured, that is fine as well. There is no need to notice these changes. The body remains supported. Breathing continues without guidance. Nothing is being directed. The environment remains quiet, unchanged. The ocean does not change its pace. It does not respond. It continues moving evenly. Words may blur together. Meaning may soften. This is not something to correct. The mind does not need to organize what is being heard. It does not need to follow a line of thought. There is nothing to complete. The steady rhythm is enough. The ocean remains in motion. The forces remain the same. Nothing here depends on awareness. If attention drifts away, it does so naturally. If it returns briefly, it can drift again. There is no need to listen closely. The words are no longer carrying information. They are only carrying rhythm, and that rhythm does not require understanding. It can remain quietly in the background, like slow movement, like long cycles that do not announce themselves. Nothing more is needed. The rhythm continues. Nothing shifts. Nothing resolves. The ocean remains in motion, far beyond awareness. It does not slow down. It does not speed up. Gravity remains present. Rotation continues at the same pace. These conditions do not change. Water continues to adjust quietly. Layers shift. Balance remains. There is no signal marking the passage of time, no clear boundary between one moment and the next. The voice remains steady. It does not ask to be followed. Words arrive, then fade. Sentences do not need to be completed. The space between them is enough. Breathing continues on its own. There is no need to notice it. The body remains supported. Nothing needs to be held in place. If sleep has already arrived, the motion continues without being heard. If awareness returns briefly, it can drift again just as easily. Nothing here depends on attention. The processes being described do not change when they are not observed. They do not react. They continue in the same way they always have. There is no conclusion waiting, no final thought to reach. The ocean does not move toward an ending. It continues, quietly, evenly. The repetition remains gentle. The tone does not shift. There is no reason to stay awake for what comes next. The words are no longer carrying information. They are only carrying rhythm. That rhythm does not need to be understood. It can remain in the background, like distant motion, like slow cycles that do not announce themselves. Nothing more is required. The night continues, the movement continues, and the quiet remains.